Hello everyone, I'm Ellen from SLC and welcome to day 9 of our lockdown countdown, and welcome Tom Scott. I'm very pleased to have you with us today, and it's a privilege to have your insights as head of sales for News UK's travel division. You see a lot that's happening right across the industry, so it'll be great to hear your thoughts today. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Yeah, really pleased to be here.
So, as you know, the aim of this is to keep industry talking and discussing ways to innovate and be inspired at this time. So we'll start off straight away with question 1. Can you give us an example of a COVID innovation you've seen in the last 9 months?
Yeah, absolutely. So for us, obviously at News UK, we're best known for being the publishers of the Times and the Sunday Times and the Sun newspapers. So I think we're historically very much bracketed as being sort of a kind of an old newspaper business, but we're really trying to sort of evolve and become much more sort of digital and audio led. So one of the best innovations we've had this year has really been around giving the Times a voice. So obviously it's a brand that's got over 230 years of heritage. But then this year we launched Times Radio. So it's the first of its kind radio station as an actual news brand operating on the radio in a completely ad-free environment. We don't actually take any phone calls from listeners. It's all experts, so it actually gives probably a slightly more slightly better voice. And that's actually gone alongside a podcast called Stories of Our Times. So that's a daily podcast, again doing a real deep dive into some of the biggest stories, both some of sort of quite hard hitting as well as more light-hearted. So those two together have just been a really, really great way for us to give the Times an actual voice, which it's never had before.
That's incredible. And I actually heard that lockdown has given podcasts not just an extra boost, but it extended the audience. So are you seeing that it's a wide range of demographics that are engaging with it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the great things we've seen for audio as well, with people being in lockdown, we know a lot of people have been taking their daily walks and just generally having perhaps a little more time on their hands. The audio has really sort of stepped up and become a key part of people's lives. So for radio, it's been massive because actually a lot of people, particularly those who are on their own, have said that actually the companionship of having the radio in the house is really invaluable. So actually TalkSport is one of our businesses as well. Now, of course, we had no live sport for a long period of time, but actually we were getting amazing feedback from listeners saying that it just kind of felt like they were with their mates in the pub because they could just kind of sit there and listen to people talking about sport all day, and it was absolutely perfect. So yeah, audio has been a real win for us this year.
That's so good. And without doubt, definitely a challenging year, but as you've already hinted at, there's opportunities amongst all the chaos and challenge that we've had. How do you see that we can rebuild better going forward?
Yeah, so I think one of the key things here is actually we've seen a real return to creativity in recent months. So I think, understandably, there'd been a period of time for the last few years where kind of every penny and every click was being really scrutinised for the returns that were coming on it, and it actually meant there was a bit of a sort of gap in the creativity of marketing campaigns. So I think now with people kind of, as we hopefully start to come out of COVID, consumers are really looking to start being inspired and sort of see more engaging and interesting content once again. So from a lot of insight that our internal teams have been carrying out, we really believe that creativity is going to be absolutely key for actually getting people back out and spending money again. I think, particularly for travel, we know there is huge pent up demand. So actually it can be such a sort of fight for people's attention that, coming up with something really creative and really interesting should be far more effective than just sort of running a simple PPC campaign. And actually one big part of that has been really sort of the kind of the reintroduction of long form content. So we've had an award-winning campaign recently with Kia, the car manufacturer, where we actually produced videos that were around 15 minutes long and have had sort of huge viewer figures, really long dwell times, and also with one of the Australian Tourist Boards last year, where we took our Sunday Times wine critic out to Australia and sent him on a road trip for a week and produced these sort of 10-minute long videos of him going and exploring it with with an Aussie stand-up. And again, the engagement in that content was really, really strong, because actually people are looking for that more inspirational kind of content nowadays.
Yeah, I think that's really true. We really need to earn the attention, don't we, now? It's never been busier and a tighter fight for attention, so you've got to do it with creativity.
Absolutely.
And a nice question to imagine now on a cool November morning. If the borders were all open, there were no restrictions, where's the first place you'd be jetting off to, Tom?
I mean, it's a really tough one. So in my previous role at News UK, I used to look after all the tourist board relationships. So pretty much every day you'd be talking to someone and thinking, actually, I really fancy going there. But I think actually the one, in terms of somewhere that I've not yet been to, but really should have been, it would be Australia. And that's not just to play to the audience, but no, absolutely. We've done a lot of work with yourself and the other tourist boards over the last year. So obviously we've had so many conversations about all things Australia, and obviously the more I've looked at it and been talking about it and responding to briefs on it, that's kind of become like a holiday research piece in itself. So I think just seeing all the amazing sort of things that are out there, I really should be getting myself out there. So hopefully with a bit more holiday allowance, we can be getting ourselves out to Australia at some point in 2021.
Absolutely. Occupational hazard, isn't it? Our wanderlust has always been.
Oh, it really is.
So you definitely choose a good one with Australia, West Coast. Yeah.
That's the first point we hit.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you again, Tom. It's been a real pleasure speaking to you, and take care.
Thanks, Ellen. Take care.